Right, so I'm Steve Clark. I joined GESS in August 1987, so that means I've been here for about 34 years. Originally came over here for 3 years with my wife. We were teaching in the Singapore system, and then I changed after a year and a half to the German system. And I suppose I enjoyed it so much that I stayed and stayed and stayed, and now they can't get rid of me. I think staff was probably about 26, maybe, I'm not quite sure. Students, I think the highest we went up at one point, I can remember we hit 880, I think, and that seemed to be a landmark at the time. That was the first time we'd gone over 800. I mean, I had one class, one of my first classes was a grade 8, there were just 6 people in there at the secondary level. I mean, you know, the classes were not big at all, and you just had one class per year as well. There was no I mean, the school was so small that there weren't bigger classes. No, there was no canteen in those days either. The food had to be brought in for lunchtime, or the kids brought their own food. Yeah, and more monkeys around in those days as well. And then we had, when we had the tower built, we used to be visited by a toucan, used to come and perch on the balcony at the top, in the top room, and sort of watch our lessons. It was, yeah, kind of like a little village in a way. It was, yeah, it's kind of nice, yeah. The other thing I liked initially about the German school was the sense of community that you had. That it was, there was a real sense that it wasn't just teachers, it was the spouses as well. So if there was any event, the wives and husbands would always be invited. I can remember once Helmut Kohl, the German president, came over, German Prime Minister, came over and had a big reception. I can't think where it was, I think it might have been Raffles Hotel. But we were all invited, you know, and those sort of things. I think the German community then was very tight and very inclusive, and everybody was invited to events. We had big parties at the headmaster's house. He would sort of put food and drink on for all of us at the beginning of the year and then end of the year. So that sort of thing, I think it kind of felt as though you were a family. I think that the one event that really stuck in my mind was we had this quite eccentric bus manager called Mr. Robert. Anyone who's been here a long while will know him. He's kind of this larger-than-life character, you know. And he had a grandson. And on one Sunday, so stretching from about 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, I think, he put food and drink on for all the teachers and their spouses, and the teachers' children as well. We all came along to celebrate the birth of of his first grandson. And that, to me, it summed up the German school in a way, that everyone was a part of it, you know. The bus driver, the bus manager was, you know, you chat to him just like you chatted to the teachers, you know. It was a big community. I mean, my biggest achievement was that I won the Tanglen Cup for the under-12s. Right, now we were a small school, we didn't have much choice of players, and we were up against schools like UWC, Tanglin, OFS. You know, these were big schools at the time that had a lot of choice. And one year we actually won the tournament, and that to me was my greatest sporting achievement. That was kind of special. Yeah, that was special. I think one of the best trips I had was going up to Tamangara. So we took the overnight train from Singapore. We got off at 4 o'clock in the morning and were picked up by some minibuses that drove us to a river, and then we had a 3-hour trip on very narrow wooden boats, you know, sort of sitting single file, 3 hours right into the heart of the jungle. And you think, God, yeah, this is Asia. This is just great. This is wonderful. So that was quite special, that trip. Yeah. One year we went to Rawa on a sort of staff weekend, you know, which was great as well. Which I don't think you'd ever get that anymore. But we did that a couple of times. That was nice. Yeah. So you know you're meeting them in a different setting, you know. And so we basically booked the whole island out, because in those days I think there was only one chalet provider, sort of thing, you know, and they're just chalets, just wooden chalets, and we just went out there, and I mean you just have a barbecue, possibly drink some alcohol, possibly, and you just go swimming, snorkeling, and everything, and sit around and chat. So that was quite nice. Quite a nice bonding experience. I think the first thing that struck me was the fact that you didn't have to be at work if you weren't teaching. Now this was totally novel for somebody that had come from England. The sort of trust that they had in teachers, that they were doing the job properly, and they did their preparation at home, they did their marking at home, they didn't need to be at school. Having said that, there was only one staff room and there were no personal spaces where we could work at school, so that was different. I think the other thing that was strange was that you were allowed to smoke in the staff room, right? I've been a foreign language assistant in Germany, and they had a little room off the staff room where people went to smoke. But here, they just smoked in the staff room, and I thought, wow. But then the Singapore government kind of stamped down on that sort of thing, and it all stopped. It's been fun, I have to say, it's been real fun, you know. The kids, I mean, teaching is about, it's about the kids at the end of the day. And the kids here have been great, you know, they've been very motivated. Sometimes they've had difficulty with my sense of humour, right? It can be, you know, I've got a very British sense of humour, and sometimes they don't quite get the sarcasm or the irony or whatever. But as the years have gone on, they kind of realise what I'm like. They go, oh yeah, that's just Mr. Clark. Okay, so, okay. Happy birthday, Jess. 50 years is a huge milestone. May you enjoy another 50 years. It's been great fun, and I hope it remains great fun in the future.